Hey, it's Dan, and in this video I'll install a quad lock phone mount on this BMW F750GS. If you don't know what quad lock is, check out my overview video where I explain how it works and why I like it. I decided to go with the pro version of the handlebar mount, a vibration dampener, and a wireless charging head. There are two different charging head options. You can either go with the USB version or the hardwired version. On this bike, the USB version will be the quicker and simpler installation, but I'm going to go hardwired because I want to keep my outlet open. Additionally, I already have an ignition control terminal block that only supplies power when the bike is turned on, so this should make for a quick and permanent installation. The kit comes with the part that mounts to the handlebars, the part that mounts to your phone case, several spacers to fit different types of bikes, and also an Allen key. So everything that you need is already in the box. So we'll get started by installing the handlebar mount. This guy is compatible with different bar sizes. In my case, this is a standard 7/8 or 22 millimeters, so I'll use a 22 millimeter spacer. If your bars are a different size, you can use one of the other rubber spacers that come in the kit to make sure that it fits properly. Because I'll be using a wireless charging head, I'm not going to need to use this part. So the first thing we'll do is open up this clamp, and then slide the rubber spacer over the bars. If you notice, the spacer has these little tabs which will fit into the openings inside of the bracket. That'll help keep it from spinning, so make sure that these get aligned, just like that. And I know that I'll want it somewhere around this position. So for the time being, I'll just mount it loosely. So I'll catch the threads here, and just get it tight enough to the point where it doesn't move on its own, but I could still move it around if I wanted to. The nice part about these is you may have noticed that the screws actually come with some thread locker that's pre-applied to it. That's going to keep them from vibrating loose over time. Okay, so this looks about right. There's also a lot of adjustability here. You see that there's a sprocket looking attachment point here. The same is on the other mounting point. So if I loosen this guy up, this allows me to move this bracket into any of the fixed positions, which gives me more mounting options. So next up, I'm going to grab the vibration dampener. This already has a screw inside of it, protrudes from the other side. This one also has thread locker on there. And I know that I'll want it somewhere around here. So I'll just get it started. And then finally the charging head will go on top of that. So these come with little paper tabs here just to make sure that you don't lose the screw. Make sure to remove it before installation. And note that you can rotate this guy around. So I'll just leave it with the LED on the bottom. So I'll finish tightening this screw just so that I can do a fit test. Push it in, attach the phone at a 45-degree angle, and then you can either lock it in place this way or lock it in place this way. So this looks like it's a pretty good angle for me. I'll go ahead and tighten everything except for the ones around the bars, and then I'll adjust the height on the bars. You want to snug these up, but don't over tighten them. And finally, I'll adjust the last screw that holds it onto the handlebars. And that looks like it'll be a great angle for me. Okay, so I did a quick fit test with my tank bag and discovered that having the phone mount mounted right next to the mirror actually interferes when I turn the bars to the left. So what I did instead is I slid it down the bar all the way down to where the triple tree is. So this will still give me great visibility and complete clearance even with a larger tank bag. So you do have quite a bit of adjustability here, so play around with different positions and pick one that works best for you. In my case, I had already removed the GPS mount because I never used it, so that gave me even more options. This came in handy, especially with the tank bag clearance issue. And next up, I just need to finish up the electrical connection. Like I mentioned earlier, on this motorcycle, I already have a terminal block that's ignition controlled, meaning that it only provides power when the bike's ignition is turned on. Make sure that you do the same for your installation. If you're not sure how to do that, you can check out my other video where I installed a terminal block on this Honda ground. It's a quick job, not expensive, and all you need is an automotive relay and some cables. So I'll go ahead and remove the seat and then figure out how to best route this cable under there. Okay, so the way that I wire this up, red is positive, black is negative, so all I have to do is connect the wireless charging head cables, red to red, black to black, tape it back up, and I'll be good to go. So this is a perfect example of why I love using these terminal blocks on all my bikes. It makes it so much easier to add any accessories that you only want to power when the bike is turned on. And before I close everything up, I want to do a quick test. So I'll turn on the ignition, make sure the LED turns on, and then put my phone on there and make sure that it begins charging. So I'll turn on the ignition. The LED turns on, so that's a good sign. Next up, I'll go ahead and mount my phone. So push the power head in, align it at about 45 degrees, then click it in place. And now you can see that it's charging. So that's great, everything works like I want it to. So I'll go ahead and close this guy up. This version comes with a plastic cover, so I'll snap it in place and then wrap it up with electrical tape. So the one thing to watch out for is the locking mechanism. I want to make sure that I stay clear, otherwise it's going to be hard to get the seat off. So in this position, nothing's interfering. And as the last step, I'll use a few zip ties to secure the cables up front, and also down here to make sure that nothing interferes or binds. So I ended up routing the power cable without removing any plastics. It really wasn't bad. Another option that you have is to remove the top panel here. It's held in place by 4 screws. 2 are here, 2 are on the other side, and then it'll pop right up. In my case, I didn't do that because I have a tank bag ring that I just didn't want to remove. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.